on Sactown Sports.
No ageism here, okay? We were just laying out how I think it's interesting that we're talking about the Kings needing vet leadership when they're a bunch of vets and they don't even have a 21-year-old on the team. Why exactly do they need to have more vets than they already have? That's where I'm at. I get the vet thing. It's good to have vets. Yeah, I think the Wizards having CJ McCollum and Chris Middleton, a couple of those guys, that makes sense to me. The Nets, now, I don't think Michael Porter Jr. is the vet that you want, as he's on a wild media run, which we all knew, we all should have known that was going to happen, right? Him in New York, I mean, that's obvious.
I just can't believe Nets PR is not trying to shut this dude down. Like, this is like when Tyreek Hill went from Kansas City to Miami and all of a sudden he was just saying the most insane things in the world. It's like, wow, Denver PR was doing like magic to keep that guy under wraps, because we all knew he was insane, but my God. I
think the Hornets, I feel like the Hornets just got a vet.
Well, they had Taj Gibson for however long.
That's one. They need a couple. Okay, they need a couple, but I feel like the Hornets recently got a vet in there. But those are the types of teams, and the Jazz, right? Whenever the Jazz are ready to go, who was it?
It's a Plumlee, baby. But also there's another one that I forgot. So they've signed Mason Plumlee, traded for Pat Connaughton, and I think this is the one you were talking about, Spencer Dinwiddie.
That's who it is. That's exactly that's what you need, right? That's what I think when I think, hey, this team needs the vets. Utah Jazz, I would throw them on the list, and yeah, coincidentally, all those teams are projected to be at the top of the lottery.
Hey,
so that makes sense.
Where's Jeff Green at? What is he still doing his veteran thing?
He dunked on the Kings. I know that wherever he was.
He's still in Houston?
Yeah, he dunked on the Kings pretty badly.
No, Jeff Green's still on the Rockets, so I feel like someone else could use him.
Kyle, let's get this tankathon going. I'm ready to go. I'm just doing it while I recall. This memory. What has happened? I'm running it again. It left us at 8 again.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen 70% of the time.
I'm running it again. There we go, baby. That's more like it. You can put 8. We got to be a Boy Scout. You can put 8. But the second time I ran it, the Kings did get the 4th pick. So we'll like that.
That's
I like that much better. Well, you can put 8. That's what it was the first time.
We've now run it 23 times, and if I'm just doing quick math here, we've gotten first 3 times, we've gotten second twice, we've gotten third 3 times, fourth 3 times, and that would leave 8th or 9th 13 times.
With that being said, the 916 says this season is a waste of time. The West is still too strong. Trade everyone but Neek, Maxime, Keon, and Keegan and start a playoff run in 2027, 2030. Stack up draft picks to get rid of Sabonis, DeMar, Monk, Carter, and Levine. That's one way to do it. And look, I've been a fan of the hybrid tank. Just don't get in your own way. That's what I've said. If you're not going to be good, then, just stay there. Right? Don't be a little bit better and mess up your situation. Now, what 916 is talking about is a full-blown blow-up, which could probably happen. It doesn't all have to happen at one time, and I don't know that I don't think the texter is saying it all has to happen at one time. But, yeah, that would be a gradual thing. It definitely would be a situation where you're moving on from DeMar sooner rather than later. I think this texter probably isn't thrilled at DeMar still being on the team. And look, I'll give you this. I'm definitely surprised that he's still on the team. And I guess you could assume that when the trade deadline comes around, because we don't know. Look, it's not as if they turned down a bunch of teams that wanted DeMar. It just feels like they did not shop DeMar as hard as a lot of us thought they were going to shop DeMar, and then you leave yourself in a position where the trade deadline comes around, and I'm about 80% sure there will be at least three teams interested in DeMar. Then that's when you make your move, and hopefully, if they are making that move, that means that they are at the very least, at the very least, putting themselves in a position to stay in that 26% chance to get a top 4 overall pick. That's how I feel like Scott Perry is playing this, but I'm gonna be honest with you. The more we hear about how much they love DeMar DeRozan, the more I'm not sure, which could lead the Kings to being in a familiar spot where they drop and they go to 20%, whatever it is, and 12th overall pick once again.
Yeah, but I guess the point is you kind of have to do that a bunch of times in order to get lucky in the lottery, right? How many times have the Spurs gotten lucky in the lottery? Wemby, Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle. Well, it took them being in the lottery all those years to get there. And by the way, they didn't get it one year because they ended up with Sohan. Right. So, different years lead to different lottery luck. And, maybe the Kings will be that team that gets a future all-star with the 8th pick in the draft and beats the odds, or so, has quality drafting, or gets a player that everyone else undervalues. Who knows? Maybe they'll get lucky in the 8th spot. We don't need to we don't need to worry about getting 2, 3. Maybe we'll get 8 and draft an all-star.
Okay, well, yeah, don't say things like that.
What? It could happen.
No.
It happened once.
Don't say things like that.
Happened with Tyrese Halliburton.
916-339-1140. Who's ready for some 8